Yeah. What do you mean? What do you mean I'm a procrastinator? I'm not a procrastinator. I am not. I am not. Hey, I am not a procrastinator, and I'll prove it to you. You just wait. Hey. Never mind. Season 6, episode 17 of Niagara 411 Live with Lee Sterry. That would be me. Welcome to the show on this absolutely spectacular September the 3rd day. We should all be out having a picnic somewhere here in Niagara. But here we are having a picnic of our own at Fiddler's Poorhouse on St. Paul Street in St. Catharines. We are powered by Grantham Home Hardware. Also presented by Niagara Parks Commission, Sandra's Home Healthcare, Ace Alignment, Verge Insurance, Mac Outpost, and here are your specialities for the day at Fiddler's Poorhouse at the lovely 149 St. Paul Street here in downtown St. Catharines. I can't begin to get over how fabulous a week of weather we've been having. Now, it's probably all going to change coming tomorrow, but for today, man, it's nice. You can come on in and join us and actually sit in the window here and have a burger and a bun or whatever refreshment you would like, and whatever edibles are here, which are many. It's a great spot. Food is awesome. We have kind of a moving show for you today. We're going to have some fun, but we're also going to have some serious conversations. Niagara lost one of its biggest supporters over the last few days, and we will be honoring his memory and chatting with his wife in just a few minutes. We'll tell you more about that, and that'll bring into perspective the significance of this lovely hand-carved arrowhead that's around my neck. We'll be telling his story. He was my friend, and we'll be talking about him in depth in just a few minutes. Also, you may remember over the last while as well, there was a fellow arrested for breaking into someone's house in Welland and sexually abusing a 5-year-old. On what planet does this even happen? We're going to be talking to the mother of one of his previous victims as the show goes on, and I realize these are some pretty serious topics, but they've been impacting us all over the last week or so. So anyway, come on in, join the show, and we're going to get ourselves settled, and then we'll get this shindig on the road. Thanks for being here. All righty. We are getting wired for sound here. There we go. And here we are. Hey, everybody. This is the extravagant and multi-million-dollar set that we've managed to put together at sparing no expense, I might add, for Niagara 411 Live with Lee Sterry. The other gentleman you saw on the screen there is our executive producer, co-founder of WeeStreem, Canada's premier streaming service, and it is that technology that is bringing you this fabulous show. Ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Jack.
Well, yeah, thanks for the big build-up, Lee.
Yeah, welcome. Okay.
Welcome to the program. Kids are back to school.
Yeah. Parents are taking big, deep breaths. That's awesome. Now, so what we're going to do first, though, is we're going to get you, as you're watching this, on your Facebook on Niagara 411. Hi to Nick and Nick's mom, by the way, our pseudo partner, Nick at Niagara 411. We are streaming there even as we speak. So what we would like you to do is refresh your Facebook page the way it is. Then you go down here to the bottom and you hit share. You know how to do that. You hit share. And then the window pops up and says share now. You don't have to comment, say anything. No, you just hit share now. Bada bing, bada boom. Now, what this does is help you reach all of your friends and family and people around the world that we all know, and it helps bring Niagarans together on a regular basis, which is the whole point of this program. So thank you for doing that. Now, as I mentioned earlier, we have some heavy conversations to have today, but We also have some lighthearted moments, and Kevin, we have to start off the show with this. You are no stranger to Joe Vieira of Niagara Regional Towing. He's been on this show before. He is a prolific promoter of his business on Niagara 411 and all over the place. And so you know Joe. You've seen Joe before. You would have had to live under a rock to not know Joe Vieira from Niagara Regional Towing. But this is beauty. Now, oftentimes we see posters or billboards or signs defaced. People put graffiti on them, and they see a billboard or they see something, an advertisement, and they do stupid stuff to it. They deface it because they just want to do some goofy vandalism stuff. Well, such happened to Joe's poster. Here's why I'm laughing. Watch this.
What the hell? Why would somebody vandalize this? I understand competition is fierce, but this is crazy. Totally deface this. I look nothing like that. This is horseshit. I don't like it. What the hell? Why would somebody vandalize this? I understand competition is fierce, but this is crazy. Totally deface this. I look nothing like that. This is horseshit. I don't like it.
Joe, I gotta tell you, man, you turned.
Why would somebody vandalize this? I understand competition is fierce, but this is crazy. Totally deface this. I look nothing like that.
You can watch that a million times.
I don't like it.
Joe, you turned a sow's ear into a silk purse, man.
I understand competition is fierce, but this is crazy. Totally deface this. I look nothing like that. This is horseshit. I don't like it.
Now, a lot of people would get upset. You spend good money on advertising. You put an image together, and you put a distribution marketing plan together, and you pay for the space, and you pay for the artwork, and you pay for the photography, and you do all that. And most people, if that had happened to their advertisement, they'd be really pissed. But Joe, no, he turns this into an absolute marketing piece of genius. Okay. Oh, God.
Look, nothing like that.
That is the funniest thing.
This. I look nothing like that. This is horseshit. I don't like it.
I don't like it.
Good on you, Joe.
Oh, man. 2 thumbs up for marketing genius and being able to laugh at yourself and make it worthwhile. Ladies and gentlemen, if we could laugh at ourselves as much as we these days laugh at each other and criticize each other, the world would be a better place. Oh my God. That was absolutely I can't stop giggling, Kevin. It's
I immediately had to go show my wife. I saw that. I'm like, oh my God, you got to see this. It was just absolutely that funny. Just that funny.
That is brilliant. Just absolutely brilliant. Let me run by our sponsors again before we get into the lineup for today's program. We're powered by Grantham Home Hardware, and we're so pleased that they became our keynote prime sponsor here on the program. Jake and Rob are the 2 guys you want to talk to over there if you have any idea of any questions you might have about home renovations or stuff in the hardware realm. They're the closest to the old style kind of hardware store that I used to go into with my dad, only it's definitely more modern and more upgraded and more current, obviously. But locally owned, genuinely Canadian home hardware, and Grantham Home Hardware in particular. Jake and Rob, thank you for your support. Also, we have the Niagara Parks Commission, their Niagara Takes Flight ride attraction. I call it a ride, but it's an attraction. Ride is kind of an understatement. It is now operating in Niagara Falls near Table Rock, and it's just fascinating thing to do. So by all means, check it out. I also wanted to mention the fact that I had an opportunity to get out and play the Niagara Parks Commission Golf Course Whirlpool over the last, between shows, between the last show and this show. One of the really interesting things they're doing out there is they're restoring Whirlpool. It's beautiful, and that always has been beautiful. But it's a Stanley Thompson. I don't know if you know anything about this guy, but he's probably Canada's premier golf designer over the years. I've been a member of 2 or 3 different Stanley Thompson courses in my relatively long life, thank God. Stanley Thompson designed a Whirlpool golf course along the Niagara Parkway. And what they're doing right now is standing back and looking at the original design that Stanley Thompson had for the course, and they're rearranging all the things that have happened over the years since it opened, and they are putting it back to its original Stanley Thompson design, which is very, very exciting. Plus, they're doing some irrigation work and stuff, so it's really cool. So you can head out to Whirlpool. It doesn't stop you from playing. It's all in great shape. But anyway, it's kind of cool what they're doing out there. So thank you, Niagara Parks Commission, for being here and sponsoring the program. Also, Sandra's Home Healthcare setting the bar for home healthcare in Niagara and across the province. Compassionate in-home care and PSW services, personal service worker services, since 2005. It was Sandra's birthday last week, and I mentioned last week, or the last show, that I'm pretty sure that Sandra had a good time. Judging by her Facebook post, Sandra had a great birthday, so we're really happy about that. Ace Alignment, thank you also for being here. The small automotive service and maintenance operation on North Street, just off Geneva, behind the police station here in St. Catharines. But man, do they know what they're doing. Everything you need, from wheel alignments to brakes and suspension, front end work, motor vehicle inspections, etc. That is the place to be. Also, Verge Insurance. Oh yeah, don't forget, it's Darren and Matt that are over there. Ask for one of those 2 guys; they'll look after you. Verge Insurance, Mark Shirk and the gang, looking after you for home and business and life and auto insurance brokers. They'll put you in touch with the people you need at the prices you can afford, just over on Ontario Street. Been in business here in Niagara since 1953. Ooh, that's pretty good. And of course, the Mac Outpost. Everything Apple authorized reseller and service provider, located in St. Catharines, down on Lake Street in the north end, in the Dollar Tree Plaza where Tim Hortons is, across from Don's Lighting. You know the place. So stop in and see them. Sean, the owner, and Derek, the head tech there. Everything Apple, hardware, software, training, whatever. That's a place to go if you are in the Appleverse at any stretch of the imagination, which of course I am, as you can see right there. This whole show, Kevin's business, along with his partner Brandon Scram, is pretty much fueled by Apple and iProducts. So.
Yeah, absolutely, Lee.
Kevin?
Absolutely.
Oh, this one, yeah.
Yeah, if you're going to ask me what's up, it's like I stumbled on this video yesterday, and this is cool.
Now, before Kevin plays this, I have to be, in the interest of full disclosure and transparency, and I'm pretty sure just about everybody on the planet has experienced something while behind the wheel of a car that makes you want to stop. Not that I've ever done it, and I will never do it, but way back in the recesses of your psyche, there is something that when you experience something that makes you so upset when you're behind the wheel of a car, you want to stop the car and get out and just, without any preamble, just punch somebody. I know you felt that. Come on now, admit it. I have, I admit it. I've never done it, and I won't do it, but you have that urge. Well, check this out.
Now, this is Stanley Ave in the Falls.
Yeah. Bam! You don't wait, you don't talk, you don't do anything, you just start swinging. It's not right, and I shouldn't be laughing. I should be condemning this, and I kind of am. But
It's not right, but it's not us.
it's not right, but it's not us. That's right.
And, I mean, we all know.
we have no idea what happened here.
We all know where that is. I mean, that's Stanley Ave. Just after you come off the 420, you go north there. You know, you're heading towards the casino
The
district.
casinos, yeah.
I don't want to swipe up for the next video. I want to see this one again.
Yeah, you just get out and start swinging.
I don't know what happened.
No, we have no idea what led to this, and I don't care. Well, we see some weird things on highways. Kevin, one of the things that happened that I saw, I just thought I'd mention this. My wife and I, this past long weekend, we were in Ottawa for a family wedding, and we were heading back on Sunday because we didn't want to drive on the holiday Monday. That's pure carnage on the roads coming back into Niagara on a Labor Day Monday. So we came back on Sunday, and it was pretty slow on the Queenie, as it usually is, between Burlington and Victoria Avenue or whatever. But all of a sudden, coming flying up on the right-hand side of the paved shoulder, where only emergency vehicles are supposed to be. It's not a lane of traffic. We were all sort of just creeping along, coming into Niagara. And these two supercars, I don't even know what they were. I know my cars pretty well, but I don't know what these things were. Maybe one was a McLaren, I don't know. But they went flying up on our right side, and leading them was a motorcycle, absolutely screaming up ahead of them. And all I could hope was that somewhere between there and Niagara Falls, which you know that's where they were headed, some police officer would find them. But we never saw them stopped because they were just flying. Dangerous stuff. Stunt driving is what they would have officially been charged with, and their cars would have and should have been impounded. I don't know why people do what they do. They think it's fun. They think it's a lark, and they're living on the edge. They're living life on the edge. Well, you take our lives with you when you do stuff like that, living on the edge. And hey, I like cars too. I got a couple fast ones myself, but I don't do that. But anyway, just like I don't get out of a car and punch somebody in the head. Although some days you know, I know, some days you want to punch something. Well, just make sure it's something. Get a punching bag, put it in hang it from your garage roof or something. That's what society leads us to sometimes today. Coming up on the program today, and in just a few minutes, a lady named Victoria Bennison. Victoria is the wife of this man whom we lost just a few days ago. I'm having a bit of a hard time with this because Dave was my friend. His name is Dave Bennison. I met him, I think 8 years ago. Could be 9. And we became friends, kind of co-Niagara promoters. There was never a bigger fan of Niagara and a bigger promoter of Niagara than this man. He was a big rig truck driver for many years. He was a craftsman, artisan, Comic-Con world passionate supporter, a Star Wars fan, like there was never any other. He was, as you have seen, maybe you didn't know that Dave was the guy behind it, but he was Historical Niagara on Facebook, and Niagara 411 posted numerous stories and coverages that Dave did. He was Santa, one of Santa's helpers in Niagara-on-the-Lake for the past couple of seasons. So if you had a picture taken with Santa in Niagara-on-the-Lake over the past couple of winters, this was Dave. The beard is real, and he was an amazing man, and more than that, he was an amazing person. And we lost a friend. I lost a friend unexpectedly. Came as a total shock and surprise. And Niagara lost one of its most ardent supporters and promoters. And this is the motivation behind this arrowhead I wear around my neck today in honor of Dave. Dave made this for me. And it was handcrafted from a 500-year-old oak tree that grew here in Niagara. And Dave gave it to me for, I don't know, maybe 7 years ago now, maybe more. And it's been hanging from the rearview mirror of one of my cars for all of those years because it just had a special place in my life. And I took it off that rearview mirror and I wore it today to commemorate my friendship and our loss of Dave Bennison. Now, I also have known his wife, Victoria. We call her Vicky for many of those years. Vicky played a huge role in Dave's life, mostly in the background, but is a creative force in and of herself. And Victoria, I hope you can hear me. I hope you can see me. We can see you. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Lee.
And I hope I didn't take away all your thunder because I could go on talking about Dave for
That's okay.
forever. And I hope you saw the setup so that you realize where I've gone with this. First of all, our condolences. I can't express how sorry I feel for you and your family for such a loss, and a huge loss it was. How are you? How you doing?
I'm just really tired right now. There's a lot of things involved that people don't realize when someone passes. And in Dave's case, there's been a whole lot more. So, you're dealing with your family's grief, and you're also dealing with many different communities' griefs.
I ran through sort of a Reader's Digest of my knowledge of Dave's life and the things that he was passionate about, which were many. I would like you to take a moment, if you can, if you feel up to it, of giving us your version of who Dave was.
First of all, Dave was passionate about a cruller donut. Like, he was just a passionate person, and he was passionate about, when I first met him. We'll say on our first date, people aren't always what they say do what they wanted to do when they grew up. So my question in interviews and stuff with people was like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And he said, a real life Indiana Jones. And I thought, he talks in story. I like this guy. So history was always there. Geology was there. He had studied that for a while. He was really into rocks and things. Museums for that, natural history museums. And then, as it went on and he became a truck driver, life was, we had decided that one person needed to work to get a health plan. So anyhow.
Yeah, good choice.
So I said, well, what do you want to be? And he said either a teacher or a truck driver. And teacher takes a while, and we already had kids. So I went on the way. So I said, okay, we'll go with truck driver. And no one can understand how much Dave loved his truck and meeting people along the road and checking out, truck stops. And he even took the trailer through Gettysburg one time when he not the trailer, the tractor.
Yeah.
He was like,
the truck and the trailer.
Yeah, and they let him through. Of course, a little while later, there was a notice on their site saying no transport trucks. So I feel sorry for the other drivers. So he was doing this, but as he was driving truck, he was just the Energizer Bunny. There was no stopping him. And so while he was doing that, and after 15 years, he had the seniority, and he came home to be with the kids as they grew up. I said, I think it's time, if you can. He started. I mean, he was always making things. He was a Call of Duty fan, and the kids would come and he would carve them all. The different weapons or whatever, because kids will make a toy rake into a gun. I mean, that's just the way
sure.
they are.
Well, we all did that as kids, didn't we?
Yeah. So, and then we went hiking, and he made us a couple of staffs, and then that worked into stick to the story, and that took off, and he was passionate about absolutely everything in his life.
Victoria, let me interrupt you right there, and that's the point in Dave's careers, if you will, that I met you guys, was during the stick to the story page that he had on Facebook, and that was a collaborative effort between you and Dave, and the fact that he created these fabulous articles, the walking sticks and the staffs, these fabulous hand carved and handmade arrowhead medallions, etc. And then you put them into a book. You wrote a story to match his creations, and that's where the stick to the story comes from. Correct?
Right. That took off. We didn't expect it to be a business, but all of a sudden, it was walked around and taken to a store, and then people were messaging me because I was home. He was on the road, and they're like, where is your website? What is your business? What is it called? And I'm like, Dave, we need a name. And so we were thinking, and he was like, okay, apparently when we had discussions, I would say stick to the story. And he said...
So there it is then.
And also it was a stick to a story.
Yeah.
So that's where the name came from.
And there are some very famous people around the world that are in possession of some of Dave's creations.
Yes. Billy D. Williams bought a stick at one of the in Niagara Falls, Comic-Con. And then later, Nichelle Nichols of Star Trek, I saw him walking around with his stuff, and she said, how much is that? Like, how do I buy that? Now, as any young Trekkie fan knows, and I hope I used the right word or I'll be in trouble,
I think Trekkie
knows
fans are good.
that they all had crushes on the show. So he was like, you don't have to buy it, like, just take it. So she has a stick and a cane. She did have. There was, and he would make different things. The point was, he actually loved these people. He wasn't going for the numbers. He wasn't going for he was just, these people were his heroes. They were his friends. There were relationships there. I mean, Nichelle said to him, take this picture. She goes, I'm going to give you some pictures. And they had a picture taken together. And she said, take this picture and put it on your social media and run with it. That is what she told him. And I thought it was so significant that she was the communications officer.
Yeah.
And she helped him with his and she helped him with his communications. And I think William...
There was a whole... There was a television series...
yes.
Was it Australia?
New Zealand.
New Zealand.
I just talked to the gentleman last night. I wanted to get a hold of him, one of the actors. Him and Dave were friends, and I didn't know what social media it was on. And then last night I remembered, I said, have you heard from Dallas? And he said, he's on Blue Sky. So I went and found him last night, and he was like, Peter, I'm so sorry. Peter's going to put a post up. And he also said that he had one of Dave's, and because Dave has made a staff and sent it to them in New Zealand for their show.
And what was the name of the show again?
It was AFK, and it is so funny. You have to be a fandom to like it, because it was about real people who got sucked into the game. So a sort of a World of Warcraft game, and how they were dealing with being in that world.
Yeah,
it is very
fascinating talent. And a great self-promoter and self-marketer as well was Dave. But he, as you say, he just did it because he loved it. He didn't do it necessarily for the money.
No, it was never about how many clicks somebody had, how many numbers they had. It was about, he would take a whole day and interview different crafters at the cons, and because he was interested in what they were doing too as a crafter.
And he had hundreds of thousands of followers and numbers, etc., to use your word. And we have a picture on the screen right now. You can't see it, but one of his most recent iterations, of course, was one of the man in the red suit's helpers, Santa Claus. But he also turned his own spin to this character that he portrayed for businesses in Niagara on the Lake the last couple of seasons. It wasn't traditional. It was the Kurt Russell Santa Claus, right?
It was, and we had some discussion over that. And he was right. That happens seldomly, but he was right. The Kurt Russell Santa suit was more like Father Christmas. And since he was going to be in Niagara on the Lake, and the history of that, he decided Father Christmas was the image that should be portrayed.
It was the way to go. And you made it.
I made parts of it, yes. I didn't make all of it. And there, he wanted the jacket. I'm like, Dave, I can't get this done. Like, really? And he's like, he sometimes thought he expected miracles. Okay, he just thought Vicky can do this. Vicky can do anything. And here you go, Vicky. And so, he wanted more fur on it and stuff. And so I'm like, I can't make it look like exactly like the picture. Okay, it's just not going to work. So, the hats, I need a hat, Vicky. This hat is not good. So yeah.
And the boots, he bought the boots, right?
Yeah. The boots, he purchased, and he actually just found a good deal on a really warm winter coat. Yeah. So he had ordered that, and that was, but honestly, this is the point that I want to make across to people with all the things that he did. Dave lived his passion. It wasn't any particular do this or do that to be like Dave. His message was to go out there, live today, really care, and do what you love to do. And he loved to be Santa. But I don't think, I hadn't brought that issue up. I don't think that would have been possible this year. And so, things were winding down.
Yeah, well, I want to talk about the historical Niagara aspect of his life as well, and then we'll talk about him, the man, the person, and the guy we lost, and you can perhaps bring us some clarity as to what happened, because Dave touched a lot of lives, and I don't want this to sound, as you and I talked about this off the air, I don't want this piece that we're doing right now to be exploitive in any way. And I know when a personality is as large a personality as Dave was, and had the widespread impact that he had over the course of his life, you, I'm sure, have been feeling overwhelmed by just the situation in general, because all kinds of characters and folks come out of the woodwork with different motives at different times, and I'm sure it's been a challenge for you, and will continue to be a challenge for a while at least. But I definitely wanted to be able to help people live Dave's life a little bit for a few minutes alongside you. And then we'll get to the details of what happened to Dave this past week after we talk about his most recent iteration that's been going for a while, and it reached international interest from television and production networks around North America, and that is his historical Niagara features that he did. It was amazing. You there?
Yeah. I'm just.
Tell us about that.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Tell us about that. Tell us about the historical Niagara stuff.
Dave.
If
Give
you
me
can.
a segue. No.
If you can, that's okay.
No, I can. It's not. I'm just trying to think of the process of doing this.
That's okay.
Okay, so history has always been an interest to Dave. As I said, he wanted to be a real life Indiana Jones, and a teacher. And so he did not go into this with the plans of it being anything except a place to talk about history, to bring out, everybody is Niagara Falls, everybody is the War of 1812, but there are many other aspects of the history of Niagara. And he wanted to bring that out. And so it wouldn't have become what it was unless he had become ill. Because there is no way anyone who is working, has small children, has a less than patient significant other, it could have happened. And that's why I want to say people would get angry with him at times and say, well, I'm going to go to your boss and tell them, and you won't have this job. And so there was no money involved. This was a work of passion as everything else Dave did, because it's what he was interested in.
And you referenced him becoming ill, which ultimately led to the shocking loss of him last week. Shocked us all. However, I known that he'd been dealing with some health challenges over the last number of years. He was a diabetic, correct?
He was a diabetic, but was kidney failure. He had kidney failure, and so he had to be on dialysis 3 times a week. And this also affected his eyesight. It was getting harder and harder for him to see.
And one of the things that it was a Dave thing. Instead of doing what most people would do, and that is go to the hospital where they have the dialysis units here in Niagara and go there 2-3 times a week or whatever was required, and then come home. But Dave didn't want to spend that kind of time out of home, so he took courses and got the apparatus so that he did his dialysis at home.
He was still working when he first started, and he wanted to be able to continue working. So this was the only way that was going to be done. And so we went to 6 weeks of intensive training, and it was hard, but to take on that responsibility. Mm-hmm. But I want to thank everybody at the Niagara Health. Whether it the nurses and the techs from the home hemodialysis unit, the wound care nurses that came out to the house, the doctors, the paramedics. Oh my goodness, when we called him, the paramedics were so great and so understanding. They really worked hard. Those people were the people that kept him going.
And I know you wanted to give a shout out to a facility in Dorset, Ontario as well.
Right. If people have been asking me what to do and things like that. And I believe that Camp Dorset, the Lions Camp Dorset in Dorset, they have a camp there where people don't understand, where families can go and be together and still do dialysis, and that you can just go on their site and hit in memory of and donate money.
Victoria, thank you. I know that you didn't know if you'd be able to do this today emotionally, but you did great, and you helped us learn a little bit more about the man. And he was a wonderful supporter and fan of Niagara. He was a good friend to those of us who could call him that, and he'll be missed. And we love you. You take care of yourself, and again,
you too.
Thanks for being here. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Keep in
Bye,
touch.
Woody.
Keep in touch, Vicki, okay?
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
Okay, take care.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Quite a Niagaran. our Dave. And Vicky's not far behind. She labored long and hard in the background. She is a creator in her own right, which someday we'll have an opportunity to shine a light on that as well. This is Season 6, Episode 17 of Niagara 411 Live with Lee Sterry, and we are powered by Grantham Home Hardware, supported by Niagara Parks Commission, Sandra's Home Healthcare, ACE Alignment, as well as Virgin Insurance, and Mac Outpost. We send our never-ending appreciation to all those folks for supporting the program. Another story that is almost unbelievable. If it weren't true, you wouldn't believe that someone could make it up. This past Sunday, Niagara Regional Police of Welland and Pelham District responded alongside Niagara Emergency Medical Service paramedics to a residential address located near Crowland Avenue and York Street in the city of Welland for a medical assistance call involving a child under the age of 5. Upon arrival, uniformed patrol officers observed the front door to the residence as showing signs of having been forced open. Further observations confirmed the involved child was suffering from serious injuries. Prompting an immediate criminal investigation, the child was assessed at the residence and was flown to an out-of-region hospital for advanced medical care. The child remains in hospital at this time and is listed in stable condition. After speaking with the child's parents, it became apparent an unknown person defeated the lock in the front door, in other words, broke into the house, and entered the place sometime between 10 o'clock in the evening and prior to the incident being reported at 9 o'clock the next morning. While inside the residence, unbeknownst to the parents, their child was sexually assaulted. A child under 5. Uniformed patrol officers secured the scene and commenced a neighborhood canvass in search of investigative leads. A witness was located who indicated they may have video surveillance of the general area. The video was reviewed and a suspect was identified. Further investigation by uniform and patrol officers in consultation with detectives assigned to the child abuse unit resulted in the arrest of Daniel Senecal, 25 years old, from the city of Welland. Senecal remains in police custody at this time, charged with the following offenses that you saw there, and you can imagine what they are, and those are pictures of this cretin being arrested by police officers. Joining us on the program is a lady whose identity we are going to keep anonymous. Her name is Mel, and she's joining us from her car today, and Mel is as far as we go with identifying who she is, but she is the mother of a person who was assaulted in a similar fashion by this same person a number of years ago. Mel, hi. Thank you for being on the show and doing this. Can you hear me? We got you?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Are you able to hear me?
I do. Yep, we got you. There's a bit of a delay, so I'll try to shut up and let you talk. Can you please, the reason you're here today is to tell us your story and what you know about the process that led us to this point. So can you give us some background as to why we're here today?
Basically, we're giving a background at how somebody that was already previous done the same incident similarity to, I can't say too much about it, but to another victim, and how he spent so less in jail time and came out so easily afterwards, has all these conditions, but be able to redo it again. Where's the justice system to help them strengthen it for him not to get out of jail and then go back and do it again so easily?
So this same person, this Daniel Senecal that we're talking about, assaulted your son.
Yes.
How old was your son?
12.
12. Without divulging too much information about you or the situation or whatever, where did this happen?
It happened at a residence where he was prior there with an ex-girlfriend.
Okay. And
And he was visiting his ex-girlfriend at the time, and he was with my brother in the basement.
that's where the assault took place.
Yes.
How did they come to arrest this person? How was that reported?
My brother reported it to the police, and the police came and took him.
Okay. And he was convicted.
Yes. Took me 2 years in court, off and on, and then finally got a verdict.
And the verdict was what?
He was in jail for, because he was on house arrest because it was through the pandemic. He
Okay.
was on house arrest for, the whole time we were in the court process.
Yeah.
And he didn't get a lot of time in jail. He got less than 2 years.
Okay. And when did you learn that he was released? How long has he been out?
March 6th. Through the victim, I was able to, they had to phone me, video call me, and call me to let me know when he was released.
Okay. And were you surprised at this? Did this come as a shock to you?
Yes, it actually did.
And did you reach out to any other organization or the police or the justice system or lawyers or anybody to find out what the hell happened that this guy's out?
I reached out to probation officer, and that's about it. And they reassured me that everything should be fine, that he was good, and no one thought he was going to ever do it again. They were like, oh, he'll be fine. Nothing's going to happen.
So the parole board thought this guy was rehabilitated.
Yes.
Okay. What were the conditions of his release? Because I understand there were a number of conditions that he had to abide by once released back in March.
I got told he was I got paper told too that he was within a certain kilometers away from my son, and he was on the registry for 20 years. And he was not supposed to be volunteering in anything to do with the children underneath the age of 16.
And was it your understanding that he abided by these? Because as far as I heard, he wasn't necessarily living the way they wanted him to.
No. Well, of course, when it happens to somebody, under the age of 5, and he's not supposed to be around children 16 and over, then we have to put 2 and 2 together, right? He definitely did not abide by a lot of the rules.
Yeah. How is your? And again, I don't want to ask questions that are going to out anybody or identify anybody because it's a traumatic thing for you and your family. How is your son doing these days? Is he okay?
I mean, he's doing a lot better now. I mean, it's, he's living life and, trying to live life best like we all are. We have to kind of still go on with our life and, do everyday tasks that we have to do.
Are you angry about this?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm angry. I'm sorry if I sound really angry, because I am angry. The fact that they didn't do a lot more than what they should have done.
What did you think about the sentence when it was handed down? As a mom, worried about her son and upset, and I know it's an emotional situation, and when you went through this trial and heard the sentence, etc., what went through your mind at that point?
Literally, my mind was, that's it. I was just like, what else can we do to make it worse? And we basically had to take what the judge said, because there's not much I can do after that, as much as I wanted to.
And the incident happened with your son. What was the year that happened?
I believe it was 2021.
2021. And you said the trial or the process took 2 years?
Until 2024.
Okay. And then in March of 2025, this person is out on the street.
Yes.
Seemingly with a clean bill of health and acknowledgement that he's not going to do anything wrong to anybody else.
That's correct.
And then so we got March, April, May, June, July, August, September. So less than 6 months after he's released, he breaks into a house and assaults a child under 5 years old.
Exactly.
Speaks volumes, doesn't it, to how we allow things to slip through the cracks. Will you have an opportunity, do you think, Mel, to have any impact on how this current case proceeds? We got in touch with you. Kevin reached out to you because of a comment that you made on the Facebook page that appeared on Niagara 411, and he reached out and said, wow, we need to talk to this lady if she wants to talk to us. Will you have any opportunity to provide any kind of background or feedback to any part of our judicial system as this process unfolds?
I just feel really horrible for the lady that with her daughter, and I just wish that I was able to do more before it ever happened to that little girl, because I feel horrible that I couldn't let the world know before more incident happened, and that's where right now I'm heartbroken.
Yeah. And
because I know what I know what the process is. That's why I said if she needs to reach out to me, I will be a helping hand, because I want to try to strengthen the system up better, so it doesn't re-happen to another person like vicious cycle.
Yeah, and it's no secret that on this program I have been as big a supporter as I could possibly be to the Niagara Regional Police Service, and I know it's not the policeman, it's not the police service that ends up deciding the fate of these people that commit these crimes. They do their job by investigating and then arresting, and then the rest of the system, and there's the word, the system, the rest of the system takes over. So I don't want to throw shade on the law enforcement service by any stretch of the imagination, but as far as our judicial system is concerned, it sure seems like we need to have a better look, Mel, at what's going on. Thanks for being here. Did we get a freeze, Kev? Yeah, I think so.
I think we froze up there, but
anyway, I guess we've gotten as much as we can out of that conversation anyway, so we won't kind of flog the dead horse, as they say. But it's unconscionable to me, Kevin, that a 12-year-old boy is assaulted like four years ago now. 2 years later, is sentenced to what sounds like a rather minimal penalty for what he did, is released after 6 months or so, and then is released, and then like a year and a half later or less even, because he didn't serve much time in jail. It was house arrest, as Mel said, and then 6 to 7 months later, breaks in to someone's house to assault their under 5-year-old child.
Yeah, I couldn't believe what I was reading, Lee, when I read that wasn't the first time. He was just released. I mean, how did somebody assess this gentleman and decide that he's no longer a threat to society?
Yeah, where did that assessment come from?
Commit what I would consider to be one of the most heinous crimes that you possibly could. I mean, robbing the life of a 5-year-old girl. And Lee, Mel just hopped back in here. We're reconnected, so I don't want to just leave it at that. I'll just bring her back on for a couple seconds here in case there's anything we missed.
Yeah. Mel, hi. Sorry we got kind of frozen out there. Welcome.
Sorry, my iPhone actually said the temperature was so hot that it turned off my cell phone.
Oh.
It was so hot in my car, so I had to turn the AC on.
Well, we're sorry that you're locked in your hot car. That's not good. But we do appreciate you being here, and I wanted to make sure that we did have a chance to say that. You're very brave, because people that have trauma like that in their lives often don't want to talk about it. Did you have any parting words for us and the audience before we officially say goodbye?
am I hoping that like with everybody stick together and we can maybe change something in the world, like, you know, word of mouth, like just to like, you know, like there's a lot of criminals out there, not just him, but a lot that, you know, needs more strengthened with everything in this justice system. So hopefully that our word will be held and, you know, justice can be like different than what it was before.
Yeah. Well, I hope so too. And we'll do whatever we can to help support that. If there are avenues for us to follow, we'll follow them. And again, I want to thank you for your courage and your feedback and your input and stepping up, because a lot of people don't step up when they can have a voice. And thank you for using your voice and giving us a background on this story today, Mel. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Powered by Grantham Home Hardware and its lead hands there, Jake and Rob. Thanks for being our premier sponsor of the program. Niagara Parks Commission 56 kilometers of pristine Niagara Parkway and all of the attractions along that entire route. Thank you very much. Sanders Home Healthcare setting the bar after 25 years of personal service workers, services that go beyond the call of duty. Sanders Home Healthcare. Ace Alignment for everything that ails your mobile on North Street, just off Geneva, behind the police station in St. Catharines. Darren and Matt are the guys there. Janice Pretty and her family have owned Ace Alignment for a long, long time, going back to their days at Merrittville Speedway and beyond. So thank you, Ace Alignment, for always supporting us. Verge Insurance, home, health, auto, life insurance brokers for whatever you need at what you can afford. Over on Ontario Street, in business since 1953. And there are only two words to describe Mac Outpost in St. Catharines: everything Apple. There is no place that you can go to that you will not get satisfied if you have a question or you need something in the Appleverse. Mac Outpost on Lake Street in the Dollar Tree Plaza in the north end of St. Catharines. Thank you all for sponsoring this program. Kevin Jack of WeeStreem is our executive producer. Formed this company with Brandon Scram. I keep forgetting, I keep saying the number of years, and he says, no, it's been longer than that. What, 8 years ago?
No,
9 years
we're
ago?
10, yeah.
10 now.
10 years.
God, every time I
streaming.
see you, you add a year.
Yeah. That's not good. That's not good. I see you about every 2 weeks.
Yeah, I know.
So I'm really aging myself.
No, that's it's great. What's I know you've kind of slowed down because you and Brandon both wanted to spend some time with your families, which is understandable over the course of a nice summer like the one we've had. But WeeStream getting ramped back up now for another kick at the can.
Yeah, very much so. And here's an interesting one, Lee, to a niche pocket of society, but I know it's a big one. Coming up in a couple of weeks, I'll be heading up to Sarnia to help live stream a birding convention.
Get out.
Yes.
Wow.
So it's going to be interesting to be in that room. You know, sometimes you'd love to just be a fly on the wall. And doing this job, we get into some rooms that otherwise I wouldn't be welcome in.
How do you do birding in a room?
Well, I think
birds in there?
they talk about birding.
Oh, okay.
They talk about birding, and this is going to be the southern, and the deal is that there's also another gathering in the northern end.
Okay.
So doing that in a couple of weeks. Lee, wanted to share this with you, and just want to congratulate these gentlemen right here.
Absolutely.
Congratulations to Captain Glenn Book, and Glenn Book is right there. You see Captain Glenn Book, and we also have Captain Mike Govan, who is a good friend of mine. Congratulations.
New captains.
Yeah, new captain, Mike Govan. We also have new captain, Joel Myers, also a friend of mine. And then new captain, Mike Critchley, also a friend of mine.
You have a lot of friends, don't you?
I have a lot of friends in the Welland Fire Department.
That's good.
And congratulations on these guys. I mean, 3 deserving guys. They give back to the community. They're really dedicated to their jobs. And above and beyond that, they're all just stand-up guys.
Captain, my captain.
Yes, exactly. So there you go. There's
congratulations,
there's a bunch of them,
guys.
and congratulations, guys, to all that.
Absolutely. Many, many, many congratulations. Well-deserved honors for those firefighters that keep us safe.
Where do you want to go here, Lee? We're going to talk about the JKR Liddiard Memorial Lacrosse Tournament coming up in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, Kevin Liddiard is going to be here in just a little bit. I'm not sure where you wanted to go here. There were so many things over the last while. There was a dude. When we talk about people doing the things they do and wondering why. Another story in Lincoln. I don't know why some of these strange perpetrators focus on Lincoln. But remember the jewelry store that was broken into, 3 times in downtown Grimsby? Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men? Whether it is noble or it is, never mind. But here's the deal. The initial investigation determined that an unknown suspect arrived at an unoccupied residential address. So there's nobody home, basically, that was under construction. So he got there in a motorcycle. He proceeded to get off the motorcycle, walk around the area, and smash windows of houses. Huh? The investigation, of course, has been assigned to detectives in the area. They're asking community members to review dashcam, cell phone, or other surveillance footage that might be available between 10:30 in the p.m. and 11:15 in the p.m. on that date, August 26th, 2025. So you ride into a neighborhood. You get off your cheesy little motorcycle. It wasn't even a good-looking motorcycle. And you walk around and you start indiscriminately breaking windows of residences. Why do you do this? I mean, what possibly... There's the guy right there with his little hatchet or axe or hammer or whatever the hell it is he's holding. What possesses someone who seemingly legally has a motorcycle license? Again, we assume maybe too much, but goes around smashing windows. What's your problem? What's your beef? Anyway, with society or whoever, you make a bad house deal with a developer. What's your problem, man? I don't get it. I don't know why people indiscriminately harm other people. Maybe I'm just too old. I come from a kinder, gentler time. We had our issues as well. We had bad guys and good guys. And speaking of good guys and bad, let's do some good stuff until we get Kevin Liddiard on here. There's some good Samaritan stuff that we came across. There was somebody, and the worst thing to get these days is on a busy place like the Queen Elizabeth. Getting a flat tire, having a wheel blowout or whatever. And these things pop up on 411 from time to time. And this person put up this post on Niagara 411 yesterday. I had a terrifying moment on the QEW driving back from Oakville when my back tire suddenly blew out. That's going to get your attention, believe me. Thankfully, I was able to pull over safely to the side of the road. I want to give a huge thank you to the incredibly kind gent who saw me stranded and immediately pulled over to help. He quickly changed my tire, got the spare on, and made sure we were able to get home safe. When we tried to offer him cash, he just said thanks and just said pay it forward. And I wanted to post this just to, with all the hate in the world, just to point out the good stuff. And that's the good stuff. And here's another one. Hi, just wanted to write to all the lovely witness that stayed with my son yesterday. This is back on July the 29th, after a car hit him while he was crossing the street with his bike. I'm very blessed to the woman that called us because my son couldn't speak when he tried to call. And to the lovely gentleman that came and checked on us at the hospital. My son is home and doing good. Nothing serious, just very sore and shaken up from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. So the good folks do exist out there, Kevin. The good people hopefully will at some point in time outweigh the bad. So kudos to those folks that stopped to help the people that needed it. NYNS, the JKR Liddiard Memorial Charity Lacrosse. This year's tournament will take place September 12th to 14th at the Welland Canals Parkway, Lock 3 in St. Catharines. And joining us to talk about that is the organizer, Kevin Liddiard. Hey, Kevin, how are you?
Not too bad. How we doing? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you and see you. You're resplendent in your blue gear there.
Yeah, the apparel from last year. So
Yeah.
it's called the JKR, named after my uncles who all died in an untimely fashion, Jim, Ken, Rob. So we honored that tournament after them. In 2021 is when we started this lovely event.
That's great. Well, congratulations on your 4th year. So tell us about it. What's going on?
Actually, the fifth year, actually.
Fifth year now.
Yep,
Okay.
you got it. So in 2021, with the advent of all that social distancing, really no leagues were playing lacrosse. Nobody was really doing much, and all of us had the itch and wanted to get it on the floor. I met Brian Borsley, who used to run the ball hockey arenas down by the highway there, and he let me use his facility. And so, with the help of a few of my friends, Matt Atwood, who is a great in lacrosse, coaches Brock Lacrosse, but he has a big network. We reached out to everybody, and we actually got a tournament together, about 10 teams all across from Ontario. And with the proceeds that were raised for that, they were going to go to Brian's charity at the time, which was Growing Up Through Sports, called Guts. It was a really successful event. We raised about 10K on our first event, went off with a hitch, had DJs, food trucks. And we didn't quite get to the bouncy castles this year because we didn't have the room, but unfortunately Brian passed away. So about 2 weeks after the event. So that was just horrible, just as we were getting the momentum. So obviously we wanted to keep the tradition alive. My brother, being a lawyer, he for my birthday, he incorporated a charity for me. Niagara Youth Needs Sports. So that was the advent of that charity, because we wanted to keep going, but we wanted to still donate it to a worthy cause, right? So we started playing at the canals, on the canals by the Lacrosse Hall of Fame, which was greatly appropriate because that's where Lacrosse Hall of Fame is. So that year we had about 10 teams. DJs, bouncy castles, shot clocks, food trucks, and that was a hit. We raised about 30,000, and
Wow.
then the next year was 40, and last year was 50 friggin' thousand we raised for the kids. So
Holy cow!
It's been incredible. We've put about 70 kids now to date since that last tournament. Over maybe about 250, I think we were trying to count since our inception. And it's just been amazing because we almost like Robin Hood the organizations, because they meet us halfway. They
Right.
see us all the time now. So, I mean, we can get 4 kids sometimes, and the organization might, meet us 2/3 of the way. So it's just been incredible, the momentum. And obviously we have 14 applicants this week. So we're really hoping for sponsors and to really shine this year at our tournament.
And how what kind of sponsorship options are available? What if somebody says, "I want to sponsor, but I don't know how"? What does it cost?
Yeah, so we
that
have
kind of
we
stuff.
have online NiagaraYouthNeedSports.com. There's a simple donation site if you just want to go on and do an anonymous donation, or if you want to be like a corporate sponsor, we have levels: silver, bronze, and then we just give you more play time. You'll be on our silver banner, our gold banner, and the DJ during the event, he'll give you a few more shout outs than but everybody's still always on our socials, and we'll constantly do Facebook posts just to recognizing the generosity and the support. But yeah, we've almost had 40 corporate sponsors before this event, so it's been incredible.
Niagara Youth Need Sports.
Yep.
.com, hence NYNS. And how is this money allocated, Kevin, after this is all done?
Yeah, so we were a not-for-profit, and thankfully we got recruited. Veritas, which is a big corporate parent charity, they saw what we were doing. We disclose all accounts and everything, and this is 100% charity. I mean, nobody's taking a salary. I'm paying my staff out of my personal pocket to run this whole charity. So that's the beauty of it, that every dollar, other than the expense that that the tournament incurs, all the net proceeds are going back to the kids. So we ask for invoices. Obviously, we try to pay the corporations direct, right? So we get an invoice for little Timmy, and then we'll pay for the registration of anywhere from hockey, basketball, lacrosse, sledge hockey, flag football, competitive dance. I mean, we've done dodgeball. So
That's wonderful.
It's not only in Niagara. We've been helping kids outside of Niagara. Six Nations, and that way as well. I mean, we're not really discriminating. If you reach out to us and it's we're worthy, and we're definitely going to help. I mean, but Niagara, obviously, that's where I'm from, and it's where I played my whole life. So.
Did we ask you where this lacrosse tournament is happening yet?
Yes, it's at the canals. the Lock 4, the Canal Parkway, right where the ball hockey courts are. It's pretty visible, right on the canal. If you're driving right by the bridge, you take a left, and you'll see the big outdoor tents. But we'll have huge you can't miss us, bouncy castles. We'll have stages, tents. There is alcohol served responsibly, though, as well. We got permits for the Lacrosse Hall of Fame is actually going to be open the whole weekend. So, I mean, people that are traveling from Midland and or Peterborough or places that don't, like I think we are the only Lacrosse Hall of Fame in the city. So it's beautiful that it's open so they can kind of take their kids. It's a very friendly kid event, right?
Nice.
Yeah.
How many teams?
12 teams this year. So
wow.
It's a record year for that. 12 teams, anywhere from 6 nations, Fort Erie, a few Niagara teams, Midland, Windsor. So
I mean, that's good for the area too. You've probably got some hotel rooms and some restaurants being populated.
Absolutely. Because there's about 20 guys a team, so anywhere from 15 to 20, and they're bringing their families because, like I said, it's very, very kid related. I mean, we get these epic bouncy castles, like the big Jaws one that goes about 60 feet, and the dinosaurs are jumping out at you.
That's great.
And so, I mean, there's hard to pull the kids away from it at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, Lee, I'm just going to hop in here because I've stopped by in years past because I know a lot of the guys in the lacrosse community and just pop in there. It's Lock 3. I know everybody knew exactly what you were talking about at the Canal Parkways, where the big building is, and then you see the tent there for the ballhockey.com guys. It truly is like what Kevin described. It's a festival out there. They got music playing. There's the bouncy castles. They got lots of food going. There's a beer garden. And, I mean, I'm just sifting through some pictures here, and I'll try and throw some up. I mean, it's for young and old alike. A lot of these guys now that are supporting this tournament have young families themselves. The kids come out. The wives come out. Even if you're not a lacrosse guy, if you're driving by, just swing in and stop by. And, everything you do, whether you order a sandwich, you grab a drink, or you just watch, everything is going right back towards the charity, and it's all supporting kids right here in the Niagara region. It truly is a grassroots thing, and it's a fun thing just to stop by.
Beautiful. And might I add that there's a lot of active pros. Like, I mean, it's not just like a beer league tournament. We have one team's almost all the junior A kids. We have the after hours team that's, active pros. Tyson Bell was playing last year. Fennell's coaching, playing on the team. So these are all active NLL guys. So it's great competition. Like you said, if you have an interest in lacrosse or you haven't even seen the game, it'd be a great time to come watch. Now it is non-contact, but come playoffs, it can get a little chippy. Well, semifinals and stuff. Yeah. Kind of separating the boys a little bit harder, but no, it's just spectacular. I'm so incredibly proud of the momentum that we've gained. So
it always kind of makes me smile, Kevin, when somebody says about a Canadian sport that it's non-contact. I don't know a Canadian sport that's non-contact.
Yeah, exactly. It is our national sport, but if you get to see a real game of box lacrosse versus ours, you might see a slight difference because you can get to whacking guys really on the box floor, but. It's it's for the charity, and gentlemen, we all got to wake up and work the next day. So
absolutely. Well, I congratulate you on the success over the last 4 to 5 years of this, because those are some serious funds that you've raised with this initiative for kids in sport in Niagara. So, job well done. Good job.
Thanks, my friend.
Yeah, and good luck with the tournament coming up. And don't forget, NiagaraYouthNeedSports.com to support the Liddiard lacrosse tournament coming up. Kevin, thanks a lot for being here, man.
Okay, thanks for having me, guys. Hope to see you there.
Yeah, okay, cheers.
Cheers.
So many organizations, Kevin, that I know you were familiar with these guys because that's kind of the world that you roll around in from time to time with the ball hockey and that kind of stuff, especially over there at the ball hockey place. You know a lot of these people, as you mentioned, but a lot of us that don't move in those circles. It's amazing the number of organizations that are out there that do so much good for the community.
Yeah, it's really cool as you grow up as a young person and you're just playing sports, and then that transitions into the beer leagues or the adult leagues, and then finally you look around the room and you go, could we be doing more? Could we be doing more? And sometimes it's just as simple as, passing a hat around the room to give some money to one of the guys in the room that's having a bad time. I mean, last year, I'll say our team, the Master Skaters, we had an ice hockey team in one of the beer leagues here, and we learned that one of the guys on the other teams that we play against. We didn't really know these guys, but the team that we play against, his son needed some help with some therapy, and they were doing an open fundraiser. So we passed the hat around the room. You know, what did we come up with? 100, 120, 160 bucks, something like that.
Yep.
And walked down the hall and said, hey, guys, you know, from the master skaters to you guys, here's a little token of our appreciation, and hope it goes a long way.
And I bet the appreciation went like over the roof when you.
It does, and then you see that it can escalate from there and get to the point where now you got a registered not-for-profit. People are pooling together.
Yeah.
These guys, what, $50,000 last year, and all of that funneling right back to kids in youth sports.
Amazing.
So it's really cool that a bunch of guys getting together on a weekend just to play some lacrosse can turn into something so big and something that gives back, where it's so much more. It's about so much more than who's hoisting the trophy on Sunday.
Totally. But it always takes a catalyst of one person usually that decides that, hey, this could grow into something. It could be a one-time donation, but there's one person then that says, you know what, we could make this kind of big. And then somebody gets the bit between their teeth and runs with it, and something like this happens, where there are thousands and thousands of dollars benefiting the community. It's just, those people are my heroes. They always amaze me that somebody doesn't just talk about doing something, they actually go out and do it. And that's really a cool thing that happens. Kev?
Yes, sir.
I thought you were going to go someplace there. So
no, I'm not sure. Well, I was interested in this because I saw this morning, and it alarmed me, like a lot of people probably did. Here, I'll go back to the original post here that I saw on 411, and I wanted to see how this played out. I just wanted to get an update on it, and it's actually positive. Whenever you see car v motorcycle, we saw that single vehicle motorcycle crash in Niagara Falls last weekend, claimed the lives of a 43-year-old, I believe, St. Catharines man. I just saw the outpouring of support and grief through the comments on Niagara 411. It's really interesting, Lee, when you talk to Nick or somebody behind a Facebook page like that, how there's often debate as to whether or not comments should be on or should be off. And in a situation like that, some people are calling for comments to be off, and yet you could see that the wife of the deceased was on there using it as a sounding board. And she was interacting with other people that were commenting, and other people were sharing their grief, either people that knew her, knew him, or maybe had lost a relative in an automobile accident in their past and had a different perspective to share. And quite often it can be used for bad, but it can also be used for good.
Yeah, and that's part of the dilemma that we find ourselves in when using social media. And I myself have told myself often to not engage in controversy online, but to be supportive where possible and passing along information that's credible where possible. So I do my level best to not engage in the finger pointing and opinion slashing of things that go on, politicizing and religious, be it racism or religious biases and those kinds of things. I just do my level best to stay away from it, because you cannot win those arguments. However, as Kevin said, that debate is always there as to whether, and for operators of credible news and information sites like Niagara 411, and Nick is put in this position every day when it comes to how to monitor, how to administrate the site. And do you let comments just go freewheeling, or do you get to a point where there are some that are where you stop comments from coming in on a certain story? And I think it's always a narrow path to walk. It's always a tightrope to make those decisions, because you do want people to share their opinions and perspectives and information on a given topic. But again, you don't want to be put in the position of being either a racist or biased or whatever, and angry and mean and destructive. because people can, as you know very well, on these social media platforms, they can be destructive and mean and horrible. But then some of those perspectives also you want out there, as Kevin mentioned about this, the spouse of the fellow that died in a motorcycle accident. We've had a lot of motorcycle issues this year, and I don't know again as to whether there are more of them or whether we are just reporting them more. That's always the dilemma, isn't it, when something's happening? Oh, this is happening more than it's ever happened before. Well, is that really, or are we just getting better at informing people about what's going on through sites like Niagara 411, etc.? But the idea of always illuminating what happens on our roads, especially with motorcycles this time of year, is to try to have people pay attention around them. And believe me, I know as well as you do that there are some real idiots on these crotch rocket motorcycles. I encounter them all the time when I'm on a major highway and coming back from Ottawa this past weekend. Oh my word. There were some people that shouldn't have been on those bikes doing what they were doing.
Yeah, there's sometimes, Lee, where you see them on the road and you're like, well, I know how you're going to die.
Yep.
And it may not be today.
I was going to say it might not be
tomorrow,
right now.
But I can half write the obit right now.
And just don't take me with you.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't want to be a party to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you see it all the time. The lane splitters.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, what are you? Yeah, going between
Crazy.
traffic, weaving in and out. You know, accelerating to 160, 180, just like that. You're like, well, I mean, yeah, you haven't gotten in an accident yet, and that's what my wife and I flat out said to our kids: you're never riding a motorcycle.
Right.
Like, as long as there's some things where you say like, as long as you're in my house, and this is one like, no, as long as you're my child, you are never riding a motorcycle, because the reality is you get into an accident in a car, you likely walk away. Mm-hmm. You get into an accident in a motorcycle, that's likely it.
Yeah.
So we're not even putting you in that position, because that's why they call them accidents.
Car versus motorcycle loses every time.
Yeah. No, I know. It's terrible.
And it's
so I was happy to see that one on Hurricane this morning.
Yeah.
Did you get to the comment there? It said it looked like the guy was doing okay.
I didn't get to that one, but that's good.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I saw that this morning. I said, "Oh God, here we go! Hurricane Road in Fawn Hill, car v motorcycle." And said
this time you survived.
Yeah.
That's good. I want to thank Victoria Bennison, wife of Dave Bennison, my friend and supporter to all of Niagara, who passed away this past week. I'll miss him, as will a lot of people. His company, by the way, Challenger Motor Freight, that he drove truck with for 15 to 20 years, put a memorial announcement up on Dave, and they flew their flag at their head office at half staff over the past days as well. And I interviewed Dave's boss at Challenger a number of years ago in another life, and they're a good company, and he treated them well, and they treated him well. He won awards and commendations for his safe driving record too, by the way. We didn't mention that during the interview. So Dave Bennison, rest in peace. Or rest in fun, as you would probably enjoy it more. Mel, mom of sexual assault victim from years ago, the perpetrator arrested this past week after assaulting an under 5-year-old girl after breaking into her home in Welland. I hope somehow his past history is brought into play when he goes on trial for this crime. It should. Whether it will or not, again, that's up to our rather flawed justice system, it would appear. Kevin Liddiard, organizer of the Lacrosse tournament coming up, the JKR Liddiard Memorial Charity Lacrosse Tournament. Thanks for being here. Good luck with the event. Congratulations on all your fundraising efforts for Niagara Youth Need Sports. Awesome. Well done, and thanks for being here. We have a musical guest to play us off the stage here at Fiddler's Poorhouse. Thank you, Dave and staff, by the way, for letting us take up your space yet again here at 149 St. Paul Street, St. Catharines. Ivy Gardens is the band, is the act. The song is Goon, and you'll find out why in just a minute. This has been episode 17 of Season 6, Niagara 411 Live with Lee Sterry. That's me. Thanks. See you in a couple of weeks.